For one more question. Sorry, I got this one back. And also, if you have to leave and you think of other questions, I can always, email them to me, and I will send them to all the panelists. And if they feel strongly and want to email me back, I can put it on the Women's Center website. So if you think of something like, dang, I can't believe I didn't ask, what kind of shoe size are you? Then I will send it to the panelists.
Hi. I'm a journalism student, and I thought that the panelists raised some really good, fair criticisms of media. And I'm wondering if you have any suggestions about what stories journalists should be covering, or any investigative journalism ideas about what's happening to women in our society.
As a student who is not part of the J School, but is part of a school that has a massive journalist population, I would really like to see, and being co-chair of Feminist Student Union, I would like to see more media presence when we do things that are like having a clothes swap, or when we're having a bake sale to raise money for the True North shelter, or when we're promoting the vagina monologues, not just when we're doing something that's a really hot button issue, like being in front of Planned Parenthood and being a peaceful presence for the women and the other people that decide to frequent Planned Parenthood. Yes, that's very media grabbing, yes, it's very controversial, but we do other important things too. And I think that that's important information to convey to the public.
I think that it's important to look at how stories are covered, not just what stories are covered and what language is used. Is the reporter culturally sensitive when they're going to cover an event, where they're going to be around people who aren't like them? I have my own issues because I work, like I said, in RSVP, so when we see any incidents of sexual violence on campus, we always see the headline, "Woman was attacked," versus guy attacked someone, right? Like, we always put the attention on the victim of violence versus the perpetrator of violence. So I think, going back, I think it's how stories are covered even more than what stories are covered.
I think I couldn't say any of that better than Kim, so I just agree with everything Kim said. Lauren as well.
I'm just gonna third that too. It's really important to pay attention to your language and not where you're covering, but how you're covering it, and being very conscious not to victim blame, being very conscious to use very empowering language whenever you're talking about a very positive thing that women have done.
I definitely agree with all that, and then I would also say that as the journalist, you need to go to the people. You can't always expect the people to come to you. Like, we think of that as programming. Like, when we are trying to do programming, at the Women's Center, actively going out to places that may not think it's safe for them to come to the Women's Center and saying, "You're welcome here, you can come," like going to them instead of expecting them to just come to us. And I think that's also true with journalism. And I think also, like I was saying at the very beginning about, trusting women or trusting everyone, you need to kind of listen to the people. So, like, a really easy example is if you wanted to do a story about transgender issues on campus, don't try to get into the confidential support group on trans issues. Wait and ask, what events are you doing? Oh, Transgender Awareness Week is coming up. Let me do a story on it, so the basics, where I can then advertise your Transgender Awareness Day events where it is for the outside population, because we need to pay attention that as women and as all sorts of different kind of underrepresented or oppressed groups, some of the programming or some of the issues that we're covering and dealing with, we want to do within our own groups. We want to have that safety, and it's for us. But then also there's programming and issues that happen that are for the world at large, and we want the media attention there. So kind of listening and trying to be aware and not being afraid to go into those situations and saying, "I'm a journalist, I want to do a story, what do you think I should cover?" Instead of sitting in the newsroom and thinking, "What should I cover? I don't know anything about them. I'll come up with something." Go ahead and ask them. Yeah, me too.
Well, I wasn't going to answer it all night, but I just thought of something. Kind of going to where the people are. When you go to those events, try to find someone who is part of the population that you're covering. I've seen a lot of things like at queer events especially, people going up to 3 white allies and not queer people. So one, you're getting kind of a whitewashed answer, as well as you're getting an allies answer instead of, you know, how is this queer social for you? You know what I'm saying? So kind of finding out without making them feel like they have to represent all the population, which is also kind of problematic when you expect, oh, I really need this person of color to represent all people of color on campus. What do you think all the people of color on campus think? But one, like ask them what their identity, how they feel about the event, and not representing, and then also making sure you get a diverse amount of questions, asking different types of people. Oh, excuse me.
I thought of one other thing. When you're covering sporting events, Tigers win, not Lady Tigers win.
Yes.
Let us win. I get so upset. And covering, I understand. Mizzou, we're making our money, and we do that on the football and the basketball, men's basketball. I get it. I understand. It is the context in which we live. At the same time, you're the newspaper. You choose what to cover. Cover all of the teams equally, not like just the teams that people care about, because maybe the people care about those teams because they're all they ever see. Like, cover all the winnings, cover all the sports.
Just to kind of go on to that too, if you're covering an event and maybe you aren't familiar with some of the things that people are talking about, like for example, for coming out week or queer events, if there's language that you aren't really sure what it means, ask, because people will be very open to explaining to you. If you don't understand everything that they're talking about, chances are a lot of the people who are going to read your column aren't going to understand it either. So it's better that you ask and clarify and give as much information as possible.
That was an amazing question, by the way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, educational. Okay, so yes, now that I thought of this idea, I'm kind of digging it. So if you think of questions, it should just be an ongoing conversation. We shouldn't have to have a panel once a year to talk about feminism. So email to me. You can find me in the system, Susie Day, or if you just go to the Women's Center website and contact us, that just goes directly to my email address. Send me questions, I'll send them to the panelists, and then anyone who feels comfortable can email back and I'll post them. Thank you all for coming tonight. If you have an eval, please leave it on your chair. Did anyone get converted? Is anyone a feminist? Who's a feminist now? A number more? Okay. Also, if you want to learn more ways to get involved, definitely check out the Women's Center website. There's like feminist downloads, there's feminist websites, things like that. You can watch every Friday. I post a few FWU. It's Friday, Feminist Weekly Update. Tomorrow it's about bra burning. There's going to be a feminist zine, so you can learn about feminism. You can get an outreach program, a Feminism 101 outreach program for your group. You can join FSU or go to Feminist Book Club meetings, which are also on the Women's Center website. And just stop by the Women's Center. Chill, talk to people, grab a book, check it out. There's like 2,300. You can grab a video. You can ask me a question about my shoes. You can design a button.
And if you're interested in women's and gender studies, yes, 325 Strickland, so you can go there and talk to Jessica or myself, and I'm there, and we can tell you about women's and gender studies.
Yeah, you can take it as a minor or just take one class, like an intro if you're just a little bit interested. Please take crackers and cheese and cookies on the way out because I paid for them and they're super overpriced. Thank you.